Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We've got Omarchy Quattro, and it's based on Arch. They just rebuilt it to use Quickshell as the desktop construction kit. And of course, it's using the window tiling manager Hyprland. It comes included with NeoVim, Chromium, Obsidian, LibreOffice, Kdenlive, OBS Studio, and they've got a cliamp. It looks like a Winamp clone. I basically copied and pasted all of the keybinds and I threw it into ChatGPT and I used Image 2.0 to create this little printout that you can print out next to your desk so you can learn all those keybinds. But we'll go ahead and download the ISO. I've already got it downloaded, so I'm not going to do it again. So it's super space to open the Omarchy window. And we're going to do a sudo pacman-s flatpak. We're going to download the flatpak version of Fedora Media Writer. We're going to grab the install command for that, so we can just copy and paste it. All right, press enter on that. All right, now that we've got that installed, we're just gonna do a super space bar, type in Fedora, select our ISO, press next. And this is where it would show up in your downloads. I didn't download it again, but you'll have it here. Go ahead and select that. And then you're gonna select your USB drive, click on write. It's gonna ask you for your password. Go ahead and type that in. Let that write the ISO to your USB stick. Okay, we're going to check for updates. So it's super spacebar. Go to updates and Omarchy. Continue with the update. Yes, put in your password. And you can see after it updates, it does a refresh to Hyprland. So you'll see a blink. That's totally normal. So we basically have no updates. All right, let's open the terminal. And let's do a fast fetch. You can see I just got this mini PC. It's running an AMD Ryzen 7 Pro 6850H. It's got the Radeon 680M video card. And I'm running 1440p. We are using a little over 65 gigs out of my terabyte. And we're using 6.5 gigs of RAM out of our 24. Keep in mind I'm using OBS to record the video, and that's what's taking up all the RAM. Omarchy 4, Linux kernel 7.1.8, Hyprland 0.56.2, Foot 1.27, 8 flat packs, and a little over 1,000 Pacman packages. And my uptime is a little over an hour. All right, we'll do a B-top. You can see our CPUs being used. Again, that's OBS. I'm using 6.5 of our RAM. Again, there's the processes. Control-C out of that, do an H-top. We don't have that, so we'll go ahead and sudo pacman and download it. All right, then we go into that. Again, our CPU is being used by OBS, as well as the RAM really, 5.5 gigs out of our 24. And all the processes that are showing in H-top are for OBS. I need to get an Elgato capture card. Okay, and Omarchy doesn't come with a system monitor, so I downloaded the Cosmic System Monitor. So it's going to go into that. And we've got our CPU, 23%. You can see OBS is eating up the majority of that. It's got our applications and our processes. 20% OBS, 3.5 gigs of our memory is being used by OBS. Quickshell, Hyprland are barely using anything. And then our CPU usage is over here, memory, got our disk, and then our GPU, and our VRAM. Again, that's the 680M video card that came with the mini PC. And that's just a quick look at System Monitor. We'll do a super spacebar again, go down to Install, Packages. Just going to type in GIMP here. Omarchy doesn't come with a traditional GNOME software or a KDE Discover. It's done in the terminal. And then we go into Applications, GIMP, and you can see that did install for us. We'll load it up real quick. If we go into Help and About, you see GIMP 3.2.4. And that's just a quick overview of how you install stuff on Omarchy. Okay, let's take a look at the top bar in the system tray. Under display, you can control your brightness and your text size, as well as scaling. We're at 1.6 right now, but if we change to 2, you can see how everything just grew real big. If we go to 1, you'll see how small everything gets. And then we'll try 1.6, which is what I had it on. And then you've got your audio. Next to that, you got your network. And if we click on that, it's going to pull up a QR code to where if you had friends over, they could scan that QR code and join your network without you needing to type in your password, which is pretty cool. Then we got our Bluetooth, get the mouse and the keyboard. Hover over that little arrow, you can see OBS. And then towards the middle, time and our day. And then we've got our caffeine application, notifications, nightlight, a reminder, screen recording, and dictate. So if I want to set a reminder, type in how many minutes you want it to go, 30 minutes. And then I'll say, I need to create a thumbnail for this video here in 30 minutes. And it'll say, create the thumbnail for this video in 30 minutes. So cool, you can just right click on that to dismiss that. And then in the left-hand corner, we've got our 5 workspaces. And then if we click on that, that's like doing a super space bar. All right, let's take a look at the tools that come pre-installed. Type in Oma, you've got a calculator. Pretty basic stuff here. 1 + 1 is 2. And it does show you a preview of what you typed in with the value. You can clear that. 2 × 2. Again, same thing, you can clear that. So that's the calculator. And then we'll do Omacut. This is where you can import a video and you can trim the edges off of the video. You can see on the left and the right, you can trim the video if you'd like. Then you can play it to preview your edits. All right, so I can close out of that. We'll do a super spacebar again. Type in Oma. This is basically going to be like your Kwrite. You also can open up markdown files, which comes in handy if you're working with AI or you're doing a website. Astro uses the markdown files. All right, we're going to do a super spacebar, go into Style, Theme. We're going to take a look at some themes that Omarchy comes with. I'll just scroll through here. I think my favorites are Retro, Nord. There's a black one coming up. Mate Black, that's a favorite. Lumen's cool. Hackerman's cool. Okay, and then so we'll switch to Hackerman just to show you what it looks like when it changes. And then we can come back in here and go to background. Each theme has different wallpapers, so you'll have to go through each one and check that out. But now let's go into Chrome, and I'm going to pull up my GitHub. I want to show you guys, I created a custom one using Ether, the program that comes with Omarchy. And this is what it's going to look like. Scroll down. It's just a one-liner command you can throw in the terminal. So we'll bring up the terminal and we do a super V and press enter on that. It's going to go out to the repository, pull it down. We've got the Q2DM1 theme for Omarchy, which throws the Quake II wallpaper on, gives it a nice color accent as well. And if we go back out to my website and go into blog, I'm going to show you how to change the cursor on Omarchy. It's very simple. In the example, I'm going to use by beta, but feel free to download whatever cursor that you want. The name of it will change in the commands to whatever the file name is for whatever you decide to download. But if we come back to my website, we'll do a super enter for terminal, CD into downloads, and then we're going to paste in that command we just copied there. And that's going to extract it. I'm going to come down. I'm going to do this system wide, so I'm going to select this second option B, and I'm going to paste that in. That's going to move it to the location where the cursor needs to go. And then we'll go ahead and add these 2 lines, the HL environment. So basically we're going to set the cursor size to 24, and then we're going to point it to that one that we just downloaded, the by beta modern classic. And And we're going to put that into our hyprland.lua. And to do that, we're going to go into NeoVim, scroll all the way to the bottom. We're going to press I for insert mode. We're just going to do a super V to paste that in. And then we're going to do a right quit. For some reason that didn't work, so I need to press escape. And then I'll do just a quit this time. I think I didn't press escape in time and then right quit. It should just bring you back to the terminal, but for whatever reason it didn't. When I log out and log back in, you'll see that the cursor does change. And you can see that our cursor has changed. Okay, let's head out to my GitHub again. Just github.com, the Linux IT guy. And we want to see if the Toolbox will install. We are at 97 stars, so getting close to 100. Slowly but surely. So I'm just going to copy the quick start command. We're going to do another super enter. And then Control V. We can close out of the browser, press enter on that one. And it's going out, it's grabbing the toolbox for us. And we will just run that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a super F to run this in full screen mode. That way we can see it all. And the supported distros is Arch, Debian, and Fedora. We're running Arch because Omarchy is based on Arch. And you've got remove administration system information, and in the bottom left, our package manager is Pacman. And normally I will remove Firefox here, but Firefox is not included in Omarchy. So let's just install the Brave browser. Click run, put in your password, and we'll let this run. Okay, and that did install, so we're just going to close out of that. And we'll do a super space, and there's Brave. All right, now I'm going to show you how to go out and get the Google Antigravity IDE. So just go back out to my website, go to blog, install Antigravity IDE. We'll go to the download page on Google, and then let's scroll down to the IDE download. There it is, the standalone. So download that one, x64. All right, now that we've got that downloaded, we'll go back to the written article here. We're just going to copy this extraction, CD into downloads, and then paste in the extraction. And we put that in local share. So we'll copy and paste that and create our symlink. And now we want to create a shortcut for that. And instead of using Nano, I've started using this NeoVim that's included. So we'll just copy that portion, and then we'll do an in and then paste. So we go into NeoVim. And then we just want to paste in this next part. Pretty much just copy and paste. Make sure you replace Chris with your actual username. We'll make sure you hit escape and then do a right quit. And that's pretty much it. So go ahead and close out of those. Do a super space. Should see Antigravity IDE. Press enter on that and it should open up. And that's just a quick tutorial how to get Antigravity IDE working on Omarchy. And here's a quick Quake II benchmark test on Omarchy. So who is Omarchy for? Omarchy can be installed on anything. I literally put it on a Surface Pro from 2013 and it ran fine with only 4 gigs of RAM. If you're somebody that wanted to test out Hyprland, but you don't want to create your own dot files, Omarchy gives you a great template to start with. The included program Ether allows you to select your background and then extract the colors from the background so you can easily theme up your Omarchy install. As DHH says in his video, Omarchy is for anybody that loves computers. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.